Good afternoon everyone and welcome to the Crafternoon Box first tutorial for July. I'm in my new room and there's not much in here at the moment, so it's a little bit echoey, so bear with me. Thank you so much for joining me again. Apologies for not making it yesterday. I had lots of tradies, as I said in my Facebook post, effing and blinding down the side of my house where my new room is. And yeah, that did not make for a very good kind of listening or watching experience. There are still a couple of tradies on site today, so hopefully they're not going to make too much noise, although they are working right outside my window. So we'll see how we go. But I hope you're all well after a couple of weeks off, moving house, having 5 weeks in the month, which was really handy, except it would have been helpful if we'd moved house in that first week, but the house wasn't ready yet. Anywho, we are here and it is lovely to have you back. I'm just going to make sure that all of my little sections are working with our YouTube and our Facebook. It looks like Tony's in on YouTube. Hi Tony, and a couple of others. Welcome. Please pop a message in and let us all know that you're here and following and joining in. If it's your first time here, we'll get started in just a minute. We just like to warm everybody up and have a little bit of a chit chat, catch up on things. So my main big news for this week is that we've moved into the new house. So my new studio furniture will come Monday week. And then so hopefully not next weekend, but the weekend after, I'll have my new space and it won't sound like I'm in the toilet. But welcome. Let's have a look at what we're going to be getting into today. I haven't got my cameras set up yet. Here we go. Here's my desk. It's great. I'm also able to use a much bigger desk than I had before. So I've got lots of space and I'm really excited. So let's have a look. Today we're going to make a twist and pop card. So I'll give you just a little looky-see. You would have seen the example hopefully on the title screen on Facebook and YouTube. So hopefully you've seen that. But for this one, I've just gone very simple on the front because this is where the fun comes. So it twists and pops out. Oops, take that back down a little bit. So you've got this awesome kind of zigzaggy pop out section. And then when you fold it back up, it twists and you just sometimes might need to give it a little bit of a push, a little bit of encouragement, and it folds back in into your card. Now this does fit into an A6 sized envelope, so super good for the Aussies amongst us who can get that done. So I'll run through very quickly for everyone just what we had in this month's Crafternoon Box. So this is for the July Crafternoon Box, which is closed. Also the August one is now closed, and very shortly we'll be launching the September one. So stay tuned for that. And I'll be able to kind of let you know what we're going to be doing. Hopefully once I've unpacked everything a bit later in the month. So in the July Crafternoon Box, we have got this gorgeous cardstock, Craft cardstock in the weave texture. So this brown color is cinnamon. The green one we have is jungle. The blue is dusty blue, and in the grey we have concrete. So I used grey as the concrete as my card base for this one, and then just added some blue touches to it, just with the patterned paper from the Paper Rose. No, that's not from Paper Rose this month. It's from Craft. It's the Explorer collection. So not all of it is travel or explorer related, but it, yeah, it's good for everybody, but also, will kind of fit sort of masculine, feminine, and everything in between. So that we've got some options for us there. So I'm going to let you guys vote today. What colour should I use? I'm not going to use grey because I've already done that in the example. But let me know in the chat if you would like me to use brown, you want me to use green or blue. So let me know. That should hopefully get a bit of chit chat going on in those chat channels. Hi Tony. Yeah, the card looks awesome. I love this card. Just twist and pop it, something that people aren't expecting. It does feel quite heavy when it's thick and bulky. So people kind of know when they open it, they're getting something, some kind of content. But I think it's great because you can kind of mix and match and, kind of put things where you would like. You can put as much or as little in there as you want. Hi, Jenny. Yes, I hope all the Victorian and New South Wales people are staying safe and sane as well. We are still in Victoria, back into lockdown, so it's been a perfect time to do all those jobs around the house now that we've moved in. So we've been putting up curtains and unpacking boxes and setting up pantries and all kinds of palaver, but I'll tell you about that as we go along. Vanessa says green, so if you want your voice heard and you want to pick a colour for us today, please pop some bits and pieces in. Anybody else in Victoria or New South Wales who's locked down at the moment? New South Wales, I really feel for you guys. I just feel like our good friend Gladys is not particularly handling the situation very well, but let's not get too political. Let's have some craft fun. That's all I'm going to say about her today. Oh, Sharon wants blue. Good on you, Mum. Oh, Tony wants blue too. Okay, all right. Look, we might have a green-blue toss-up. All right, we've also got the Craft Smooth White. So this is for your writing panels. Or if you wanted to make a white card base, that's perfectly fine as well. So we've got those. We've got the Couture Creations Smooth Photographic Matte Black cardstock. So I like to use that for my borders and bits and pieces. And then we've got all the 6x6 inch papers that came this month in the Craft Explorer pack. Now, I haven't put my sentiments and bits and pieces out yet because I'm going to use that a little bit later. And we may all have different pieces to each other. So just because of the way we've divided up the packs for the month. So lots of great bits and pieces. Obviously, you've got things like, these type of things which are very plain, kind of patterns that don't have any kind of travel related, instinct to them. Postcards, that's kind of a nice one as well. It's not too themey. You can always use a map. I'm still trying to find out exactly where that is. I'm not sure if it's somewhere in Melbourne or, I don't know, does anyone know where this map? I'm kind of thinking this type of, almost looks like a garden. I'm wondering whether it's Central Park in New York or, I don't know. If anyone knows where that is, let us know. Oh, Tony, you're locked down. Yeah, welcome to lockdown. It's fun, isn't it? Although I don't think your lockdown is anywhere near as locked down as ours has been. But let's not argue about that because lockdown is lockdown. When you're restricted in some ways, it's, still working because you're essential services. Yeah, Tony, thank you very much for still working through the crazy. But look, we've got lots of nice textures. We've got some film strip, which I think would be really cool to cut one or two of those out and pop a little photo behind. We've got some stamps, more passport stamps, hot air balloons. All right, so it looks like based on everybody's kind of comments, we're going with blue. I think I've got a couple of people for blue. And poor Vanessa on green. Do you know what, Vanessa? I'm going to use this green paper and this one, which has a little bit of greeny blue in it. I'm going to add those to the blue today. So we're going to have a bit of green and a bit of blue. Let's do that. And I might pop that one on the front. So then we've got, let me see how it looks with the blue cardstock. I've got some pretty basic materials today. I'm not doing any stamping because some genius packed things and didn't label the box particularly well. So there's that. Oh dear. I did pack most of my things though. So I've got my paper trimmer and this is also serving as my ruler at the moment. I've got my little guillotine. I've got my stamp press. I've got my Big Shot, my Tim Holtz glass media mat is here. I've got all of those things, but just stamps, ink pads, I've misplaced. They're in a box somewhere. All right, let's see how we go with these. Right, so I've got a couple of pages of the pattern paper and we will have a bit of a go at this. So to make your card base, you're going to need to cut 3 main sections. So you can cut all of these out of one piece of the 12 by 12 inch cardstock. If you wanted to mix and match, your card base and then your pop-out panel, absolutely go for it. It's totally up to you. And then there's one piece which forms the pop and twist mechanism underneath. So that could even be, a scrappier bit that you've got floating around because no one's really seeing that. So see how you go. Today I'm just going to cut it all out of the one piece just so that you can see how that goes. So first things first, I'm just going to double check where this lovely printing goes and I'm going to cut away from that. So I'm just going to fold out these arms. How cool is this that I can fit the whole thing in screen? This is amazing. Happy days. All right. So first piece I'm going to cut is going to be 9 centimeters wide by 26 centimeters long. And yes, for all of you who are centimeter and millimeter fans, we're going for centimeters today. Hi, Paula. Started watching on TV, so you couldn't comment. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Welcome to Lockdown 5.0. Who else is in here? My life in my craft room. Is that Carrie's daughter? I don't mind. Welcome along. Margaret, you came in under the wrong name. Did you come in under the My Life in My Craft Room name? Either or. Great to have you here as well. All right, let's go. 9 by 26. We're going for this one. I've got 9, 25, 20. Ooh, that's a half. Don't go there. 26. That could be a disaster before I even start. Cut the wrong dimensions. That's my 9 by 26. Then I'm going to cut a 10 by 30 centimetre piece. It was you. Hi, Anne. Welcome back. Not that you've gone anywhere. I went somewhere. I've moved. Hooray. Can't wait for my new furniture to arrive. I'm only counting, so it's like 8 days in counting. All right, we've got 10 and we're going all the way to 30 centimetres on this one. So we're barely going to cut anything off this little end. I've got to tell you, ladies, because I know some of you will appreciate it. I've got the 900 millimetre wide stove and oven in the new house, and I'm so excited, and I'm going to cook on it, and I'm going to have a great time. That's one of the things I'm excited about. Okay, so third piece we're going to cut at 9 centimetres wide, and we're going to go 20 centimetres long. Oops. Here we go. Pop my little offcuts away because I don't need those. They can stay in shot, that's fine. I'm not used to having, probably need to cut this bit down. I'm not used to having so much room on the screen that I can play with. I used to be able to hide things off to the side very closely. 9 by 20 we're going. Stop waffling, Tangy, and do the crafting. Your July box is leaving Vancouver, Margaret. Well, we nearly got it there in time, didn't we? So close. Well, I mean, that's a good thing. All right, now I do have my scoreboard here today, but my scoreboard is in inches, so I'm actually going to use this, and I'll show you all how you can help yourselves by using this as a scoring tool as well. So as we all know, the groove in here is set to where the cut is going to be. So it's also quite wide, and I can use that little groove as my scoring mechanism. I know you can get fancy other blades to pop into your slices and things, so I'm just going to use that today. Alrighty, so I'll just pop these in order. So we've got the 20 centimetre piece at the top, 26 centimetres, and then 30. So the first one we're going to take is the 26 centimetre long piece, and we're going to do a couple of score lines. So if you've got a pencil and you're writing these down, the first score line is going to be at 6.5 centimetres, the second one at 13 centimetres, and then the final one at 19.5. So that's 6.5, 13, and 19.5. Let's go. Let's get this underway. 6.5. And what I really like about this one, there's things that I don't like about it. Don't get me wrong. There's a little bit of issues with the measurements along here. But it's this little clip that locks your ruler bar in place. I find that really handy, so nothing's kind of slipping around. Just doing that first score there at 6.5. Then I've got 13 centimetres, 15, 14. It is a little bit hard to read some of these dimensions. There we go. And clever old me, I don't have quite as much light on my work surface today. I have moved my desk around to face the window because I packed my ring light, but I've don't know where I've packed the charging cable, like the power cable. So yeah, I did really well. And then I'm just going to pop this one in the final measurement here for the score line at 19.5 centimetres. Yeah, clever me. Pack the light, pack the stand, didn't pack the power cable. Clever, happy days. Alrighty, so with these pieces done, what we're going to do is we're going to fold this so that it forms a bit of a W shape. So that means that we're folding the first score line up, the middle score line, whoops, will go down, and then the final one will go up. So then you've got your W. Okay, we've got that. I'm actually going to fold all of these over and give them a good burnish as I go along. Hopefully I've done them pretty straight. Okay, perfect. So that piece is pretty much ready to go. I'm just going to pop that one aside. Now the next thing I'm going to do is take at least the light from the window is good. Yeah, look, it's an overcast day today. It's pretty gloomy, but it's not too bad. So my desk is not meant to be in this orientation, but I am kind of starting to like it. So there is a possibility I'll put my desk in this position in future. So I'm going to take the 30 centimetre piece. So that's 30 centimetres long and 10 centimetres high. I'm actually just going to score it at 15 centimetres on the long side, just to turn that into a top folding card base. 15 centimetres there. Can anyone hear my tradies? They're not particularly close, so I'm anticipating that you can't hear them, but they are out there. Okay. Just going to score that one. And I'm also just going to run my bone folder along just these edges. Just when they cut off and trim in here, it kind of does create a little bit of a raised edge, but if you just run your bone folder over it, it flattens it back down and you don't have any major dramas. Okay, so that's your top folding card. So pop that piece up, pop it over there. Now we've got the fun piece, everybody. And I preempt some cursing and people giving me a hard time because this is not the funnest of things. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to measure 5.5 centimetres in from the ends along the long sides, and we're going to put a mark at the top and bottom, and also 5.5 centimetres from this end at the top and bottom. So I just want you to mark, and I'm going to do this on the back side, just so that I can, it doesn't matter which side you do, this is going to form the mechanism for the pop and twist underneath. So you do you. I'm using this as my ruler today, so I'm just going to go 5.5 there, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 back from this end. So then you may not be able to see it there, but I'm just going to make them a little bit bigger, hopefully. I'm going to flip that around and measure 5.5 centimetres from each end here as well. 5.5. Good times. Just checking in case anyone's lost, getting stuck. So this is the 20 centimetre by 9 centimetre section, and I'm also going to get you to pop a measurement in top and bottom at 10 centimetres, so halfway along the long sides. Rightio. Okay, here's where we're going to get a little tricky. I am just going to pop this into my paper trimmer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and line up this 5.5 centimetre mark here to this one down here, and I'm going to score a line directly across diagonally. I'm then going to take the bottom one on the left and the top one on the right, and I'm going to do the same that way. Okay. So I'm not cutting, I am purely scoring. And the more accurate you can get this piece, the better it will go. Right, so that's one that way. Just turn that on the diagonal and put this way. Give it a good run. Perfect, happy days. So now we're actually going to fold and burnish both of these. Now I've got to figure out how I did it before. I know this middle piece is is specifically helpful. Oh gosh, what have I done? Oh, I know, there's something about, this is the bit that I forgot. 4.5 centimeters down from the top. This is exactly, gosh, what a brain dead crazy person. So we're just going to measure, so I'm going to do it straight in here, but from the top down, we just need to measure 4.5 centimeters and just score a line directly across. Because this is a 9 centimeter wide piece, you'll just need, it's essentially the middle. So you can do it whichever way kind of works best for you, whether you fold it in half or whether you just kind of score it. And then we just need to fold that up and give that a burnish. Goodness me, that was almost a disaster. That could have been good. All right, what you'll start to see is the ability to be able to push this into position. Oh gosh, why's my brain not working today? Yeah, these need to go in. There we go. Right. Just have to look at the example because my brain was not working. All right, so what we're going to do with these ones, the score lines that we've done across the horizontal, you're just going to try and push those up. So you might need to force it from the other way, but you're going to pop this up, and I hope this is making sense. So you've got these two diagonals that bend and these ones that now come up in the middle. And what you should find is as it comes up in the middle, it starts to pull these pieces around. And then once they're kind of merged there, you can flatten those down. Just going to burnish those triangles. How's everybody going? Have we gotten to that point of the tutorial where everyone goes, all right, I'm just watching from here and I'll come back to it later. All right. I think we're on to this way and down. All right. Oh, and mine is crooked because it is not sitting properly. It should, these two lines down the middle should just line up nice and flat. So what I'm going to do is just wiggle this around till it's nice and flat, and then I'm just going to burnish it again so that it's kind of just refolding it if your lines have gone just a little bit crooked, as mine have. Okay. Happy days. So what's going to happen is this is going to get glued into your card like so, and then I'll show you how to get these bits to affix this. We'll go from there. All good? All good so far? I've got no comments, so I'm guessing we're kind of heading in the right direction. Okay, I'm going to pop this to the side just while we do some gluing, and we can have a bit of chit chat while we're gluing because it does take a little while. So I'm just going to take the newly folded triangle pop piece, and I'm just going to place a fair bit of liquid glue. Now you can use tear tape if you would like. I just think for this, because the mechanism does do quite a bit of work, the liquid glue is just a little bit stronger and a little bit more helpful. Tony, definitely watching. Watch the replay later. Excellent. So you're just going to line this up fairly central and almost to the top. It's kind of like a millimetre away from that little score line. Okay, I'm going to pop that in there. So I've flipped it over, popped it in, and I'm just going to put some pressure on there just while that glue does its thing. Oh, Linda's here. Hi, Miss Linda. Looks like a paper plane, says Margaret. Yes, it does kind of look like a paper plane. I don't know if I'd want to fly in this plane particularly. It's not going to go very well. All right, once we've kind of got that little piece held down fairly well, I am just going to pop some glue onto this piece. Glue, glue, glue. Just going to fold the card down onto the top. We might as well be holding a bit of weight with our hands and do two at once rather than wait twice as long. Vanessa says, always struggle with the folding, no judgment. This is because I kind of made this a while ago and then I kind of haven't looked at it again since then. I had the example sitting in my my Crafternoon box ready to go, and then promptly forgot how it was made. I've got dimensions and things written down, but I don't have anything else, which is a little bit poor planning. Margaret, yes, my move did go as smoothly as we could. We still have tradesmen here at the moment doing things that we knew they were going to be doing. So we've had tradies here laying some gravel base around the outside of the house. So they're going to be doing some concreting to put a path around. But the actual move went really well. We're just trying to fix issues with our builder himself. Apparently, he's retiring soon. I wish he'd retired before we build our house with him, but anyway. Folding's not your strong suit. I'll probably need to do it more than once. Yeah, look, it takes a little bit of mucking around to get this done. But Margaret, I've got my furniture coming for the new studio Monday week. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, it'll be good. I don't know why, but my iPad has frozen my screen for the video, so hopefully it's still coming through on Facebook for any of you on Facebook. All right, I think that's probably as set as I'm going to get it at the moment. So now what you can see is when you open your card, you'll get this little flat panel. So we do have, it's all flat, it's quite chunky. Oh, I might have stuck that a little bit far away, but it'll still work. As long as your card folds down flat, that's the main thing. If it doesn't fold all the way out completely flat, it's not going to, and it doesn't need to. You kind of want it to stay up a little bit so that you've got that nice pop display effect, like this guy. Excuse me. Oh, I probably just inhaled some plaster dust or something because we've been installing curtains, so that's been nice and fun. Alrighty, so before we attach this one, what we're going to do is we're going to start to decorate some bits on the outside. So I am going to cut some black just to make a border. Now we had this piece was wider than 10, wasn't it? No, it's 10. So 10 wide, and I think we are, this is the 15. So let's take a centimetre off that. So let's go 9 by 14 for my black cardstock, which of course I put over on the floor because I don't have a desk there at the moment to lean things on. What did we say? 9 by 14? Or did I say 9 by 4? Yeah, Yeah, Mum got to see the house when she was over. It looks even better now though. 9, 14. Like to just come back in and double check. So I've got a nice bit of blue border around the edge. So that was taking 1 centimetre off. I'm just going to take 0.5 centimetre off for the patterned paper that we're going to put on, and I think I might actually use this guy. So this one then we're going to go 8.5 by 13.5. I think that's what I wrote down. Yes. Just checking because my brain and measurements not good. 8.5, 14, 13.5 here. And Ben's mum will move into the house Monday week. Oh, the same day that we're getting our furnitures in for the new studios and Ben's office. So that'll be a busy day in the house. Awesome. So what I'm going to do with this one, I'm just going to use some double-sided tear tape just to stick these on. So just one piece. Trey's are raking gravel outside the window. Too good. They're good blokes. They're working hard. Turn the camera around and show them. Here we go. Yeah, so just some tear tape for this. We've got a fair bit of kind of wet glue going on, so I don't want to kind of put too much on there at the moment. I'm probably not going to embellish too much of this today because I might just leave this one a little bit plain, and then I can choose how I want to deck it out a bit more once I figure out who's going to be the lucky recipient. Right. Good tear action. I've got my bin too far away from me. So I just moved it. As we can do. Okay. This is the thicker double-sided tape from Craft. So it's probably a centimetre or so. Yeah, it's a centimetre thick. So it's a bit thicker than the one that I normally use, the Couture Creations one. Yeah, it's just what I had in the box today. Got a few rolls of it kicking around. It's just as good. It's just as painful to get the backing off. My little nemesis. I love this paper though. This is beautiful. And if you're not looking at this one right now, it's got some glossy, I don't know if you can see from the camera, which light I get. It's got some glossy accents on it. So some of the petals have got some of these little swirly leafy bits have got just a little bit of gloss on them. So they're beautiful. Now, doing a couple of layers, because you probably notice once you've made this, it's quite flimsy. So adding some extra layers to the outside, at least on the front, there will be some more going on the inside. We'll give it a little bit more structure, so don't panic if you're kind of at this stage and you're like, I've kind of got a bit of a flimsy card going on. It'll all come together. Yeah, Tony, it was very lucky timing before 5.0. It's yeah, she got across the border and back again, and then then they shut her out. They would have, if she'd stayed a couple of extra days, she would have had to stay a lot longer in Melbourne. But these are the times that we're living in. It's constant lockdown, constant change. Just dealing with it all is, you know, a bit of a nightmare. I'm lucky at the moment we've got the house to kind of keep me occupied and focused on stuff, as well as my daytime job. I can work from home. Well, we only work from home from the call centre that I manage. So yeah, it's good. It, you know, keeps me occupied. But I know for other people, you know, if you're not going to work or you're having to deal with kids at home, doing, you know, schooling at home, or if you're having to just not work at all. Like, it's a pretty stressful time. So it's a good time for us to get back into crafting and, you know, have a little bit of a creative outlet and a getaway. So yeah. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut some inside panels to decorate the top and bottom. So these you will mostly see, you'll kind of see from here down, but it's just a nice finish if it kind of runs all the way into that little triangle point. So we're going to cut some pieces that are out of our patterned paper. I'm going to use these guys. So we've got 9.5 wide by 14 high, and actually I think I'm going to cut it out of just this one for the bottom, and I'll cut some white again for the top, just as a place to put more writing, more greeting. So 9.5 in here. Chop that off. And we're going to go by 14. Just about there. Okay, I'm going to flip this over, and what we're going to do is measure down. So to cut the triangles off, we're going to come down 4.5 centimetres on the long sides. So make sure I've got the right, got the top. So 4.5 is there. I've got to measure back from this end. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Just going to mark those over there. And then if we've got a 9.5 wide, just need a centre point at the top. So we're looking for a 4.75 or thereabouts. Nobody likes a 0.75 random measurement. So pop that in my paper trimmer. Chop that little corner off on the diagonal, and then do the same for the other one. Ugh. I'll just hack that a bit. It's not too bad from the other side. Maybe time for a new blade on that one, I think. All right, so I've got that piece, so I can fit that in, and it's just giving a small little border around. So I'll just tear tape that one. Pop it in. I haven't seen any of the news today about restrictions, but my tradies mentioned earlier today that they work on, during the week they work on some of the big construction sites, and there is a rumour going around that perhaps commercial construction is going to get locked down for the second time in Victoria. They've only been subject to one lockdown in the past. They've been allowed to operate for others, which I think they've kind of needed to keep projects going and things like that. But also we've had a couple of the big construction sites in Melbourne be the source of a few cases. So I think they're trying to lock that down and clean everything up and get back to it. But yeah, I hope it doesn't happen, because there are so many people working in those sites at the moment, but that's half the problem. All right, I'm going to try and straighten this from the bottom, because that's the bit that we're going to see. I don't really mind where it sits up in here, because you'd have to be looking at the card in a little bit of a kooky way to try and do that. So that's a good start. Cut some white card. Here's some I prepared earlier. Is it long enough is the question. Yeah, good. So cutting another one, 9.5 wide by 14 high. Right. Pick a side, and again measure 4.5 down, 4.75 across the top, another 4.5 down on that side, 2, 3, 4.5. Yep. and chop off those corners. Yeah, I knew you'd like that hot air balloon paper, Sharon. We still haven't put you up in a hot air balloon yet, so, you know, one day soon when we're out of lockdown. Right, flip my card around. Make sure that I did cut things that kind of do fit properly. Yep. I mean, something's obviously a little bit crooked in there, but that's okay. It's not the main thing. Now, Miss Linda, you did some interesting craft I saw on Facebook the other day, doing some, what was it? Was it alcohol ink or was it acrylic paint? I'm not really sure, but they were beautiful. You should share one with everybody on our Facebook group. So Linda did some gorgeous canvases with that nice multicoloured wispy kind of looking thing. They were gorgeous. Now she thinks she's got a, she's formed a habit. It's a problem because I think Linda then went on to do about 8 other canvases, all in different colours and, you know, playing around with different things. But I was like, oh, Linda's found her craft for the lockdown. I hope you didn't do that yesterday because we didn't do the 2 o'clock session yesterday, because Gordon will blame me for you taking up another craft session. Oh, good. I'm going to start making some artwork for my new house at some point. Maybe once I've finished unpacking boxes, perhaps. All right. Oops. Make it straight, Tangy. Straightish. Okay, there we go. So now we've got top and bottom panels in and on. Now, we just want to decorate these panels. Okay, so there's 4 panels that obviously you can choose to decorate or choose to not decorate. It's up to you. I wouldn't go too hard with too many layers of embellishment on here. Certainly a piece of patterned paper and then, you know, a patterned, you know, like something like this, just a cutout or just one extra layer. Don't start to layer it up too heavy, or you're actually going to run out of space in here once all the layers are in there. So it's starting to thicken up already. So whether you do 1, 2, 3 or 4 panels in here, the sizing for them is all the same. So it's 6 by 8.5 centimeters. So I'm going to do a bit of this one. Got the green for Vanessa. Was it green? Vanessa, it was you that wanted green, yeah? Right, let's do it. Just trying to think how 16.5. Alright, so I need to do my 8.5 this way, just to get enough cuts out of it. So, perfect size because it just cuts off those compass options there. And then, so 6 centimeters wide. I'm going to cut 2 of these. Hi, tradies. Right outside the window again. Oops. You hear the little rattle gun going on? Okay, so I've got 2 of those. I might mix that with, let's grab another paper. Why not? Why not? Right. There's one that's fairly plain, this guy. And that kind of starts to bring in the green and the beige, and it's something that you could actually write in a darker pen on top of. It's got a few directional kind of things on here, but I think because they're so muted in the background, it won't really come forward. 6 by 8.5. Okay. 6. Done. All Right, at this stage, I think I'm done with my planner. Pop him over there on the floor. And I'll get a little bit of panels on there, something like that. Flippy-doo. Margaret, I can type the measurements in later on if you like, and I'll pop them into the YouTube description. Can definitely do that for you. I know that sometimes is quite handy later on. Time to go up in a balloon, Sharon. You live so close to where they all fly out of in South Australia and just still haven't been. Bucket list. Start ticking it off. Okay, we are nearly done. 2 more crucial bits. This bit and then sticking the mechanism in and making it pop and twist. And then I'm having a massive cheese feast after this today because it's lockdown, and that's what Ben and I do when it's lockdown. We buy copious amounts of cheese and antipasto and crackers and bits and bobs, and we have a feast. Hope that's straight. I've forgotten that I can actually bring it down here and you guys can still see this. I don't think you can see my head when I lean over. No, this is great. Perfect setup. Maybe I'll keep this. I'm getting a new desk though in a week and a half. I'm getting a wind-up desk so I can sit and I can stand, because I do like to kind of stand up a little bit more when I'm crafting, and definitely like to stand up when I'm packing Crafternoon boxes because they are a nightmare to pack on like a normal desk height and table. So looking forward to getting that. So you said, I love to do the balloon flight over the Barossa. Wasn't around when you lived in South Australia. Oh, really? Just enjoyed the wine tasting and camping. Yeah, well. The wine is good over there. That is for sure. Okay. Third panel in. Last one. Lucky last. Oh, Paula, you were on the eastern side. And then you live right where the balloons go up, and you still haven't done one. We went and did one last year, just before the first Melbourne lockdown. It was my birthday, and Ben surprised me with a very early wake up, which is not my favourite thing to do on any day of the year, let alone my birthday. And so he didn't get brownie points for that, but he did get brownie points for the fact that we went in a hot air balloon. So that was nice. But yeah, very early morning, and we went from Richmond, kind of on a. It was like, oh, we took off on a sports field and then flew across to Tullamarine Airport and landed over there. So that was kind of fun. All right, here we go. The final critical bit to putting this together. Margaret's table is bar height. Yeah, sitting or standing is a good option. Alrighty, so we're going to make sure that this is lined up in the center. Give or take, as close as you can. So you're lining it up to this panel that is on the back. And I think, oh yeah, those measurements that we did before, they're now under here. So that's why we can't see them. So do your best to line them up. I mean, you could just go in and measure. how far out. But I'm just going to eyeball it because I like to live dangerously. Alrighty, so lay it flat in the center. Fold the right hand panel in, and what you're going to do is you're going to put your liquid glue on this top right hand panel. So just the top half of that back panel. Come on, glue, because I had it laying down. All right. I'm going to put a fair bit on just because this is also one of those little critical points. So just the top right section. If you do any more than that, you're going to stuff it up. Fold it down and just pop some pressure on. Now you can either wait for that to dry off, keep your hand on it. I'm going to live a little dangerously again. I'm just going to pop something that's a bit heavier down there. Then you're going to fold back the left side panel. So keep it all still where it is. And you're just going to pop glue on this bottom left panel, left rectangle. Just that bit, nowhere else. Again, you don't want to wreck it. Pop that across and then just hold that and give it pressure. So I'm just going to give that a couple of minutes just to, excuse you, somebody's drilling outside. Of course I make the most right as I'm about to wrap up. It's all good. Dennis is winding up some rope. Excellent. So next week we'll go back to the Saturday at 2 o'clock. We shouldn't have any tradies here that day that I know of, not yet. And then the final weekend of the month we will do the big double header. So just the catch up from the earlier ones. And one of those ones will be the little folio fold up folder that I think I showed you during the launch. So that is what I'm planning to do at the moment. Fingers crossed, no more lockdowns, extensions, because we do need to go and clean the old house. So we'll see how that goes. I think if we're still locked down next weekend, we're just going to have to bite the bullet and go and do it, because otherwise the house isn't going to be clean when we go back to handing over the keys. So don't want to do that. I'd like to get our bond back, because then we can use that money to buy more craft room furniture. It's probably not what Ben would say, but that's what I'm telling everybody. Buy more craft room furniture. Excellent. All right. I'm going to just have a look, you see at this. Make sure it's holding enough. All right. So have I done it right? Yeah. Cool. So you might need to, once you've held that down quite firmly for a little bit, you might need to help force this into the shape that it needs to go to start with. If you just kind of, it might go. Close the card down, you should see it start to twist over. But you might need to give it a little bit of a tap just to kind of coerce it into position. And then your card should twist and pop open. I'll do it again because it's just so much fun to watch. You do just need to give that a little bit of a wiggle. Who doesn't love? I know you guys said you liked a pop-up card, but I just think this one's just something cool. People are not expecting it to twist out and fold out. They're kind of expecting if you pop it open that you might get a little thing there, but this gives you like 4 nice panels. You know, just sit that up against a bit of your mantle. Pop that there. You know, whatever you've put on here, however you've decorated it. Oh, hi, Mr. Ben. He's sneaking in to tell me things. What are you doing watching? You should be up in the ceiling installing security cameras or something. Or getting the cheese ready. The cheese better be ready because I'm coming for it. Excellent. So that's the twist and pop card mechanism. Paula, I'm glad that you think those are clear instructions. I look forward to seeing all of your pieces when you get around to doing them. But of course you can go to town with, single layer kind of embellishments on things. Don't make it too thick or you won't be able to get it back into your envelope. But that's a you problem. Yeah, so we will, oops a daisy, I'm just putting the wrong camera back on. We'll be back next week. I don't know what project we're doing next week, but it will be something along the lines of, maybe we'll use that cute little stamp set that we've got, the little ticket creator. So as long as I've found my ink pads by then, we'll do that. But I've got a couple of other brilliant projects coming up. But thank you once again for joining me. Apologies for all the delays with the moving house. Now that we're here, that should not happen anymore. And we'll be able to carry on and keep doing our crafting. So thanks once again. Please post some photos of your finished products. Or your almost finished products. You don't need to do it fully embellished, but I'd love to see what colours and what papers you've popped together. So please feel free to pop a photo through onto the Papercrafting Australia Facebook page. If you get through watching the rerun of the YouTube video and it has helped you, stick a little thumbs up, like the video. That would be fantastic. That helps our videos to go out and be seen by other crafters so that they can enjoy and make some fun projects as well. But yeah. Other than that, I will be back next week and look forward to seeing you then. Thanks. Bye.